The cycle of toxicity: how psychopathic leadership cultivates a culture of exploitation and egoism in the workplace. In an era marked by corporate scandals and rising worker dissatisfaction, a disturbing trend emerges. Workplaces led by leaders with psychopathic and sadistic traits are fostering environments where empathy and solidarity are replaced by ruthlessness and self-interest. This time we will explore how toxic leadership perpetuates a cycle of exploitation, transforming workers into replicas of their oppressors through punitive policies, systemic desensitization, and cutthroat competition. Characteristics of toxic leadership: psychopathic leaders exhibit traits such as a lack of empathy, manipulativeness, and superficial charm, while sadistic individuals derive pleasure from others' suffering. These leaders often surround themselves with cohorts who enforce their harsh policies, creating a hierarchical structure that mirrors their toxic traits. Middle management becomes complicit, prioritizing loyalty over ethics, thereby entrenching a culture of fear and compliance. Exploitative workplace policies: such leaders implement policies designed to maximize control and minimize costs. 0 sick days, stagnant wages, and no benefits. Employees are pushed to physical and mental limits, with demands for perfect attendance and excessive productivity. These conditions create a pressure cooker environment where survival hinges on enduring exploitation, stripping workers of dignity and security. Adaptation and survival mechanisms: workers adapt through social learning theory, mimicking leaders' behaviors to gain favor or avoid punishment. The survival of the fittest ethos rewards egotism and penalizes compassion. Over time, chronic stress and systemic desensitization erode empathy, normalizing hostility. For example, Amazon's high-pressure warehouses have been criticized for fostering cutthroat competition among workers, leading to burnout and high turnover. Systemic effects: Hunger Games dynamics: leaders pit workers against each other, replacing collaboration with competition. Bonuses or promotions become scarce resources, fracturing solidarity. This divide and conquer strategy, akin to the Hunger Games, prevents collective action, ensuring management retains power. Workers, isolated and distrustful, internalize a dog-eat-dog mentality, perpetuating the cycle of toxicity. Consequences for workers and society: the human cost is profound. Mental health declines, job satisfaction plummets, and societal trust erodes. Toxic behaviors learned in the workplace spill into personal lives, normalizing aggression and selfishness. Economically, stagnant wages and lack of benefits exacerbate inequality, fueling broader social discontent. Solutions and resistance: breaking this cycle requires systemic change, stronger labor protections, living wage laws, and accountability for exploitative practices. Worker solidarity, through unions or collective action, can challenge toxic hierarchies. Ethical leadership models and corporate accountability frameworks offer alternatives, prioritizing human dignity over profit. Call to action: toxic leadership creates self-perpetuating cycles of exploitation, transforming workplaces into arenas of psychological warfare. But this cycle is not inevitable. It can be shattered through collective courage and decisive action. To dismantle these systems of oppression, we must move beyond awareness and into action. Here's how: unionize and organize. Join or form a union to demand fair wages, benefits, and humane working conditions. Unions are not relics of the past, they are shields against exploitation. Organizations like the Emergency Workplace Organizing Committee, EWOC, provide free resources to help workers unionize, even in hostile environments. If unionizing feels impossible, create worker-led committees to document abuses and amplify collective demands. Advocate for policy change. Pressure lawmakers to pass legislation that protects workers. Mandate paid sick leave and cost of living adjustments. Strengthen penalties for wage theft and unsafe working conditions. Ban at-will employment loopholes that enable retaliation. Contact your representatives, sign petitions, e.g., via Economic Policy Institute, and vote for leaders who prioritize labor rights, not corporate donors. Expose and disrupt toxic systems. Use social media, worker platforms like Glassdoor, and whistleblower protections to publicly expose abusive practices. Share stories anonymously if needed. Silence only empowers predators. Support worker-led movements like the Starbucks Workers United campaign, which has challenged union-busting tactics and won. Refuse complicity. If you're in a position of influence, even as a mid-level manager, refuse to enforce unethical policies. Protect your team from unreasonable demands and advocate for transparency. As consumers, boycott companies with egregious labor records, e.g., Amazon's Advocate campaign. Build solidarity, not scarcity. Reject the Hunger Games mentality. Mentor coworkers, share resources, and defend those targeted by management. Remember, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Collective bargaining power grows when workers unite across roles, races, and genders. Invest in worker-owned alternatives. Support cooperatives and employee-owned businesses where profits and power are shared equitably. Platforms like Seed Commons fund democratic workplaces, proving that ethical models can thrive. The stakes could not be higher. Every day we tolerate exploitation, we normalize a world where psychopathic leaders profit from human suffering. But history shows us that change is possible. From the 8-hour workday won by labor strikes to the recent victories of gig workers demanding basic rights. Your voice matters. Your action matters. Whether you start a petition, walk out, or simply refuse to pit coworker against coworker, you chip away at the foundations of tyranny. The time for resignation is over. Organize. Resist. Reclaim your dignity. Together, we can replace this stick with justice and ensure no worker is left to fight alone. Conclusion. Toxic leadership creates self-perpetuating cycles of exploitation, transforming workplaces into arenas of psychological warfare. Addressing this issue demands courage, to hold power accountable and to rehumanize labor. Only through systemic reform and collective resilience can we dismantle these corrosive environments and restore integrity to the workplace. The systemic analysis argues that toxic environments breed toxic behaviors, urging a reimagining of workplace ethics and structures.
Please tell me what you think and how you feel about this issue. Analyze it, brainstorm it, debate it, and if you like it, please share it. Thank you for watching. I truly and highly appreciate you, and God bless you.